You are now in tune with
Mamba Radio.
What up, everybody? Thank you for tuning into Mamba Radio. For those who don't know, my name is Jackson, and happy Tuesday to everybody out there. Sorry for coming at you on a Tuesday, and I'm also going to apologize ahead of time as well. I am doing another one of those impromptu recordings live from my car. Just got a lot of stuff going on for your boy. A lot of changes going on for your boy for the good. So been really busy lately. This week in particular, I'm pretty busy. And like I said, I didn't have time to be able to sit down and record anything. So, like I said, I got to do it live and direct, Pondy Road. So, getting things started. And again, it is Tuesday, but it's not just any Tuesday. It is game one of the World Series where the Dodgers are going back, baby. They're going back. We are back in the World Series in a hard-fought National League Championship Series against the Brewers. So tip the hat to the Brewers for taking us to 7 games. But, not here to talk about the past. Let's look ahead to the future with, like I said, our boys in blue who, I really like our chances. The Red Sox, they're the best team in baseball for a reason. They're the favorites right now, if I'm not mistaken, in Vegas and all that stuff. And like I said, they're not to be taken lightly. I know they struggled coming into going into the postseason a little bit. But that just shows you how good they were in the beginning of the season. That they dominated baseball, took over for majority of the better part of before the All-Star break. They didn't play as well as they wanted to, like I said, going into the postseason, but they really picked up the bats in the postseason, and they were able to beat the defending champion Astros in only 5 games. And like I said, that's definitely something that I know I didn't see coming, and I know a lot of people did not see coming. But with all that being said, I really, really like the Dodgers' chances here. AL rules, for those of you who don't know, they get to use a DH, and for the World Series, whenever they're playing, whenever the AL team is at home, they play in the AL rules. Whenever the NL team is at home, they play with the NL rules. And I like that stipulation to really, really favor the Dodgers. They have enough bats and enough depth to be able to, like I said, use a DH. If I'm not mistaken, I think they're going to go all righties today. I think I saw for the roster, and if I'm not mistaken, Kemp is the DH today. And like I said, but whenever they throw a righty, they can use Jock as a DH. They can have Muncy DH. They can do a lot of different things, different DHs. And like I said, they are just. I just think that's very, very, very yummy for the Dodgers to be able to have that luxury of having a DH, especially since the power of their, the power in their lineup is probably their biggest strength. And also think that favors them again when they come back to LA for games 3, 4, and 5. The greatest strength of the Red Sox has been their outfield, both offensively and defensively. They have the 2 top guys in the running for the AL MVP in Mookie Betts and JD Martinez, and both of them are going to have to play. They're going to need their bats. JD Martinez, for the most part, platoons in the outfield, and he usually plays right field, but whenever they're at home, they have him DH. And if I'm not mistaken, he's going to be DHing tonight against Kershaw, who is going to have a great game. I know he's going to have a great game. It seems like he's shaking off the rust, and knock on wood on that one, of his playoff woes. But whenever they're playing there, like I said, they have that luxury of being able to use JD Martinez as a DH and have their outfield be Mookie Betts, Jackie Bradley Jr., who is, I believe he won an ALCS MVP, and has had a tremendous postseason, both in the field and at the plate. And they can also use Benintendi, who's been playing well. And like I said, the outfielders are strength. But when they come to Dodger Stadium, they're going to have to bench somebody, or someone's going to have to sit and someone's going to have to play the field. And that's a tough problem that they're going to have to choose. You know, do you sit Benintendi, who is out there predominantly for his glove? You know, I mean, he can hit well. We've seen, you know, he has that ability, but he's mainly out there for his glove, as we saw for that game-ending, game-saving catch he made in left field. You know, they can do that. Or do they keep Benintendi out there? Do they move Mookie Betts to second base? I don't know, but then you take out, I forget who they have there now, but he's a guy that they can use. Their second baseman is actually a serviceable second baseman. Mookie Betts predominantly plays in the outfield. You know, I mean, there's a lot of questions that they have to answer and stuff that, especially with situations that they've never felt and never had to deal with before. So, like I said, that is very, very favorable for the Dodgers. All those questions that they have, you know, going to the AL, how can they adjust to the rules, all that stuff, and all those questions, like I said, the Dodgers have all of them answered. And as much, you know, shit talking has been going on, as for all the, you know, over managing and, you know, they're getting cute with their lineups and doing all this and the double switches and the substitutions and all that stuff that, you know, the NL gets a lot of flack for. It's exactly for situations like this. For no matter what situation the Dodgers are under, or whatever situation is thrown in their way, no matter what predicament they may face, the Dodgers have a backup plan for, or they have a plan for it. They can switch guys all over the place. They can move guys from the infield and the outfield, no problem. They can. You got a predominantly right-handed lineup coming up. We got enough lefties. And vice versa with the righty, all that stuff. Like I said, a lot of the Dodgers have a lot of those boxes checked. Red Sox, I don't know off the top. Like I said, I just mentioned the biggest one, which is, you know, pretty serious for the Red Sox. That's a big part of their strategy, is their offense, and you know, like I said, their outfield. That's the biggest strength. I keep trying to, you know, hammer it home, but like I said, that's the biggest strength, and which is going to carry on to my next point for the Dodgers. If they're going to have to change their approach. They're going to have to do. It's going to have to be all or essentially best way I can put it is it's going to have to be all or nothing with their offense, or with their approach to the plate. Meaning that they're either going to have to hit the ball out and get it out of the park and hit home runs, or they're going to have to put the ball on the ground and get it in the gaps and in the spaces between the fielders and the infield and stuff like that. Because that outfield is so good and they can cover so much ground that, you know, anything hit on a line or anything like that, they're probably going to get to it. They being Mookie Betts, Jackie Bradley Jr., and Andrew Benintendi. When it's that lineup. Now, when they got JD Martinez out there, he's not as quick. And like I said, that's part of why I said it favors the Dodgers and stuff like that. But like I said, they're going to have to either, it's going to be all, as in hitting home runs and stuff like that, or not nothing, but it's going to have to be, you know, like I said, just finding gaps, finding holes. This is a perfect time for them to do a lot of shift-busting type of offense. You know, if, you know, like when guys like Bellinger, Muncy, even Puig, even Turner, guys like that, whenever they put the shift on them, this wouldn't be a bad time to you know, lay some bunts down. Try not to put it, you know, swing for the fences, try to hit home runs, you know, hit, you know, 700-foot home runs and stuff like that. It'd be the perfect time to try that now. And I know that's not fully the game plan, and I know that, you know, they got this far sticking with their game plan. But the last few games of the NLCS, the Dodgers really changed their approach. They got in there. They stayed. They closed it. They tightened their stances, tightened their swings, choked up a little bit more. And like I said, look what it did for them. It worked wonders for them. You know what I mean? Guys got on base. They were you know, base hit here, base hit there, and eventually runs were scoring. You know what I mean? Like I said, whether you hit the ball out of the park or you get guys on base. You know, leadoff guy gets on, second guy up moves him over somehow. Third guy up, you know, base hit, scores them. You know what I mean? Like, either way, that run is crossing home plate. That's a run in the run column. And like I said, the more runs, the better. And like I said, it just looks very favorable for the Dodgers, and I'm very, very confident right now in them. You know, because, you know, like I said, it went 7 games last year. They not that they let us down, because they played very hard and they played a very, very good team. They took them all the way to the limit. But like I said, it'd be nice to get a win. 30 years since their last championship in 1988. Let's do this thing, boys. let's bring that shit home. Let's do it, and let's bring 88 back. Let's bring the championship home to LA. And like I said, I am very, very fired up. Like I said, I'm in the car right now, and you know, I got my Dodger blue on. I had to wear a little bit of a monkey suit, you know what I mean, into work today. And like I said, but you already know I had to rep my Dodger blue and I had to wear my Dodger hat with it. But yeah, like I said, game 1 is tonight. Hopefully you guys all tune in, and you guys all, no matter where you're at, you're waving your Dodger flags, Dodger towels, wearing your Dodger hats, Dodger jerseys, anything you can to let them feel the love all the way in Boston. They're going to be there for the first 2 games. Then, like I said, they're coming home, I think, for the weekend series, which is going to be really, really good, actually. So that'll be great. And like I said, it should be a really, really great series. No matter what happens. But like I said, I feel very, very confident for the Dodgers. A lot of things are going their way. It seems like, and like I said, I have all the faith in the world in the guys. And that guy got way too close, man. I don't know if you heard that motorcycle go by, but yeah, rounding up baseball, though, like I said, it's not just Dodgers right now. A little bit of baseball news for the Angels. Looks like Brad Ausmus is going to be their new manager. If you're not familiar, Brad Ausmus for the last couple years has spent time as the Tigers manager until he was relieved of his duties, I believe. But even before that, he was a catcher for the Angels, under Mike Scioscia. And like I said, he was there for a while. And like I said, they brought him in pretty recently, I think over the weekend. And, it's... like I said, it's going to be tough times for the Angels. There's rumors that they want to leave. Anaheim and have a new stadium or something, which is weird. Like, Angel Stadium's pretty nice. I don't really feel like they need a new stadium. From what I can see, like on TV and even going to a few Angel games here and there. Like I said, it doesn't feel like they need a new stadium. What it feels like is like they need new management, new team, and stuff like that. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. The big news again was Brad Ausmus is going to be the new skipper for the Halos down there in Anaheim. And like I said, just got the baseball fever. The World Series is here. Like I said, I'm very, very excited. Like I said, so make sure you guys tune in. Make sure you guys support the Dodgers. But yeah, that's going to be it for baseball. Moving on to NBA. Got to get to it. Going to talk about the thing that everybody's been talking about, over the weekend. The big fight that happened between the Lakers and the Rockets. It was a big culmination of things, you know what I mean? And it got pretty ugly, can't front, you know what I mean? As much as I hate to say it, as much as I liked it, like I liked the intensity, I liked the passion that they all showed and all that. It wasn't that great. It wasn't that, it wasn't really a good look or anything like that. But it happened. You know what I mean? No matter what Chris Paul said or did or didn't do, or Rondo, whether he didn't spit, was it Melo on the spit? Shout out to Wob for getting real down and dirty with the deets and all that. With all the spitting and stuff like that. Whether he spit or not, whether he did this or that. You know what I mean? Whether Brandon Ingram should have done what he did or not. Like I said, whatever you want to say about it, it happened. We're moving on. And that's all we can do at this point. Brandon Ingram got suspended 4 games. Rajon Rondo got suspended 3 games. Chris Paul got suspended 2. And that just shows that it's a testament that, like, anytime a shit like this happens, Chris Paul is usually involved. And it just shows, people don't like Chris Paul. A lot of people don't like Chris Paul. He has this perception that he's this really good guy. And Rondo came out today, I believe, and finally addressed it. And he's like, listen, there's this perception that Chris Paul's a good guy. That is not true. And he's a horrible he even said he's a horrible teammate. Teammates don't like him. Other players don't like him. It's like I said, this is not a reach for anyone to say this about Chris Paul. A lot of people don't like him. It was, there's a lot of rumors and tensions that, he was not a fan. He was not a team favorite guy when he was on his time with the Clippers. He's a very draining guy to play with. He's barking all the time. And it's like they said, it's even worse. He's barking all the time on the court, at the refs, at the coaches, at his teammates, at everybody. And like I said, it's just, it's hard to win like that. You know what I mean? Unless you're, a guy like Kobe, where, he's not necessarily barking all the time and talking and yapping shit. It's mainly just he's a very aggressive, intense guy, but it just does it with his play as opposed to with his mouth. And in the case of Chris Paul, he does a lot more. He does a lot of it with his play, but he does a lot more with his mouth, and that's what gets him in a lot of these altercations and has that reputation within the league. But, like I said, it happened, and, it affected. It's going to affect the Lakers going forward a little bit, They didn't have Rondo or Ingram in last night's game against the Spurs, which was, pretty good. It was very good game, actually. Not pretty good, very good game up until the end, we all know. It forced the Lakers to start Lonzo and Kuzma, which turned out to be a pretty good idea, But they ultimately came up short. They lost to the Spurs in overtime, I believe 143 to 142. But again, with this, like I said, everybody was talking about, all they're talking about was the fight with the Lakers. Now all they want to talk about with this one, they're not going to want to talk about the fact that it was a good comeback late. They're not going to want to talk about the free throw discrepancy. They're not going to talk about the lack of team defense, which is still a problem they need to address. Or the lack of, well, actually, it seems like they might have addressed. They're not going to talk about the amazing performance off the bench for Jonathan Williams. I don't have his numbers in front of me, but he just came in and he provided that energy that's all we really wanted and talking about for the Lakers, where the Lakers fans were. Was they just need they just need a backup person to match the energy that JaVale McGee has. He knows his role. He's not trying to. He did try to do too much in this game. He tries to do too much a little bit, but just someone that doesn't want to do too much. Knows their role. Come off the bench. Rim run, play some post defense, grab rebounds on offense and defense, and or defense and offense, I should say, because there's also a massive free throw offensive rebound discrepancy, and those are second chance points, and you know how it goes and all that. And they just needed someone to do that, and Jonathan Williams was that for them. Get that man a max contract, Lakers. But yeah, all jokes aside, it was a huge performance by him. But they're not going to talk about that. They're not going to talk about the game from Kuzma, where Kuzmania was running wild. He had about 38 points. I think it was a career high for him, like I said. But it's all going to get lost in the shadow of LeBron. I hate to say it, not coming up clutch again. That's all the narrative is going to be for like the next, couple days or so, and that's all it's going to be. That's all it was last night. That's all it was on Twitter. All the memes, all the jokes, all that stuff. Like I said, that's all people are going to talk about. Because in case you missed it, like I said, the Lakers had a huge comeback. They were down all game. Huge comeback late in the fourth quarter, and like I said, wouldn't even been and they forced overtime, but they wouldn't even been in overtime if it wasn't for LeBron, because he hit the game tying three. To force overtime, but it ultimately came down to in the last possession. They gave up a 7-0 run at the end. Again, the team defense, are not going to talk about how poorly they played in the team defense, but then again, to their credit, DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge were killing them all game. That is going to be a deadly, deadly combination right there going forward for their team. And like I said, I'm not going to talk about that. All they're going to talk about is LeBron getting fouled on their second to last possession, misses both free throws to have them only up by one, and then they go back down on the field on the court, on the other end of the court, and typical Spurs fashion, running a play that when it happened, they picked the guy that you least would have expected, but at the same time made the most sense. Was Patty Mills on a two-man pick and roll with LaMarcus Aldridge, and he knocked it down with like 6 seconds left, something like that. Enough time to run a good play to get some kind of good shot off. And instead of LeBron putting his head down, getting to the rim, trying to get fouled, making it easy, he held the ball with about 2 seconds left or a second left, and then pulled a step-back jumper, completely bricked it, and like I said, ended up with the Lakers' loss. And like I said, tough loss, really tough loss. And if there's any situation where LeBron needed to just fucking take over, it was there. And as well as the game on Saturday against the Rockets, when they lost Ingram and Rondo, and they were still down, but there's still enough time left. That was the time for LeBron to just take over and just do it. Like I said, take over at home. The crowd is going to get behind him. Everyone's going to be going nuts. He just needs to put his head down, be vintage LeBron, get to the rim, all that good stuff, But like I said, it didn't happen. And I'm not saying that, LeBron is out of shape. That's not what I'm saying. A lot of people are saying that he looks out of shape. They're saying, oh, maybe he's too focused on his little movies, his media projects, his this, his that, whatever, and all that stuff. And he wasn't really focusing in the gym. he was obviously in the gym. He posts all his workouts. We know that. And like I said, I'm not saying that he's like out of shape, but he definitely has looked tired in the last part of these games. He has been playing a lot of minutes, and like I said, it's wearing on him. He's played a lot of minutes in his career. He's played a lot of basketball, a lot more than pretty much anyone else in the league. He set the record for the most minutes, in the league last year at his age. I'm not saying he's old, but in basketball years he's a veteran. He's a seasoned vet, is what I will say. But this guy, and that's the biggest thing I said coming into the year is sooner or later sooner or later it all comes crashing down. To quote Pharrell, it's gonna happen eventually, and you hope it happens later rather than sooner, and you hope that it doesn't happen, directly or doesn't directly affect him just yet, and you hope it can wait a little bit. But like I said, it's going to happen, and it's probably going to happen during his time with the Lakers, where LeBron's productivity will go down, and he'll look a little more tired, more fatigued. Like I said, Father Time is undefeated, but like I said, it's still early. You know what I mean? Skip Bayless is loving this. He's licking his lips, about how LeBron isn't clutch and yada yada, this and that. But like I said, it's still early. They're 0-3. That doesn't look good on paper, but there's still a lot of basketball left. LeBron will play himself into shape. He will get in. There'll be many more situations like this for LeBron to redeem himself. Like I said, and the team, not just LeBron, but the team to redeem themselves. Like I said, they got to pick it up on defense. Whatever and all that stuff. They know what they got to work on. Like I said, the next game they got is tomorrow against the Suns in Phoenix. So like I said, that on paper should be a win. These first 3 games on paper were not guaranteed wins, considering the history of the Lakers and this and that. But with going on the road against the Suns, who are struggling themselves, like I said, this should be a better way for them to win. You would have liked for them to be at home. That would have been great for the city and all that. But like I said, there's gonna be enough time for them to redeem themselves. But the first week of the NBA is officially over. Like I said, a lot of expectations were met. Not so many were also met. Like I said, Lakers are 0-3. I think the Thunder are 0-3. Stuff like the Celtics don't look as good as they were projected to be. Stuff like that. But like I said, it's still way too early. We all love the NBA. Everyone's going to be still watching and stuff like that. It's not like it's going to affect the product on the people watching or anything like that. People are still going to watch. People are still going to love it. And like I said, like I said, it's just good that the NBA's back. It's good to have the NBA back. What is not good, though, is my fantasy team. It lost the first week matchup. Like I said, it's still a long season, but, the way things have been playing, I'm not as confident in my team this year, and I cannot front. And I love these guys, this and that. I love my teams, but I'm not as confident as I was. And that means I'm definitely going to be having to make a lot of moves. I'm going to have to be hitting the waiver wire. I'm going to be making trades, trying to finesse my boys. Sorry, fellas. If you're listening to this, don't listen to this part. But I'm trying to finesse them, trying to make some good trades here and there. And Hako, if you're listening, accept the damn trade already. You want to do it. Accept the trade I sent you. Yeah, it's gonna be like I said, it's a long season, and we don't gotta worry too much about it. But like I said, there's gonna be plenty of time to redeem ourselves. So like I said, I'm not too worried yet. I'm not too worried yet. Because like I said, look how the Dodgers were. They started off very, very slow, like I said, but they weren't completely all there yet. They had something to work on. They had some guys had to get healthy. They had to work some kinks out. Like I said, they didn't do too well. They didn't start the season too well. But look at them now. They're in the World Series. They played their asses off. They kept working. They didn't give up. They stuck to their guns. They stuck they stuck to their game plan. They didn't give up. And like I said, now they're in the World Series. And I don't know if you can tell them I'm excited about the World Series or not. But yeah, like I said, it's still the message is it's still early, and like I said, this team is talented enough on paper to be able to get it done. And like I said, anytime you got LeBron on the team, that you gotta like your chances. So cool your jets, Laker fans. Everything's gonna be all right. Like I said, we should be good. But yeah, Clippers as well. Like I said, they're as as good as they've looked, like I said, who knows how long they can last. Like I said, they're not really making a lot of noise. But like I said, they look like they got a scrappy young team. Just like I said, they look like they'd be that young, lovable, scrappy team that people want to root for. Like I said, they know because they know that they're not really going to win anything big or anything like that. They're not really going to make any deep postseason runs or anything like that. They're not projected to do anything like that. But they like I said, they're just that scrappy team that everyone likes. And that's what they've been doing. They haven't been giving up. They're like I said, playing their hearts out, doing what they can with what they've got, and that's all you really can ask for when your roster looks when your roster looks the way that the Clippers does. So like I said, good shouts to the Clippers, good start for them, good start for their fan base. Yeah, let's see what else do I got on my notes here. It's a little dangerous. I'm driving and recording and stuff, but hey, I do not recommend this to all the kids out there. If any kids are listening or anything like that, I do not recommend this. But when you got a lot to say and not a whole lot of time to say it, you got to fit in where you can. And like I said, I'm just trying to do what I do. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's fantasy. That's the fantasy basketball. Whereas fantasy football, that's right, the transition. Stick with fantasy football before I get into the regular football. Fantasy football. I think this is the first time. The first time for me where both my teams won in the same week. So congrats to me. Shouts to me. First time for everything. Like I said, it was a good outing for both my guys, for both my teams. I can't front. Like I said, it was pretty good. Mahomes was good for me as usual. Like I said, he came up clutch for me. Even though I had a couple of my bigger players or more dynamic players on the bench, hopefully they can come back and have just as big of an impact as Mahomes and the rest of the crew. But it's gonna be it's coming down to the wire. I'm on the outside looking in my my friends league. I'm barely hanging on in my family league because there's a lot of us tied right now. So like I said, every win matters. Legitimately every win matters. And so, like I said, they gotta make the right moves. Some more bye weeks, more players on the byes right now. Like I said, so this is when you gotta really hit the waiver wire and get real. You really gotta hit. You gotta hit. You know what I mean? You cannot swing and miss. You really gotta make the right picks and right calls. So it's like I said, 2-0. Like I said, hopefully I can keep this rally going and rally both my teams into the playoffs. Because like I said, just like anything. Just like the regular playoffs, all you need to do is get in to have a chance. All you got to do is just get in. If you're in, then that's it. Like I said, you got a chance, and like I said, one of my teams, I really like my chances. With my family league, I really like my chances. I just got to make some moves at running back, and I think I'll be all right. I got at the waiver wire to get there, but like I said, I think I can. So. There's that, but let's try and round things off here with the old pigskin, the real pigskin, not the fake pigskin, fantasy pigskin. Gonna do some quick hits before I get to the Raiders, which deserves an entire episode all on its own. But just some quick hits, from the weekend. Pretty obvious here. Not a whole lot of in-depth analysis on this one, but the Chiefs and the Rams are pretty fucking good at football, man. They're pretty fucking good. Specifically the Rams. Like I said, these guys are pretty good. It doesn't take an expert to tell you that. But it looks like it's going to be the potential Super Bowl matchup, unless something crazy happens. Like I said, barring any injuries, knock on wood, hopefully nothing happens, because that looks like it's going to be the Super Bowl matchup. And like I said, it looks like the Super Bowl matchup that we deserve. And trust me, if that's the one that we get, I am all here for that. So, like I said, they're pretty good at football. They played very well this past weekend. And, the rest of the league, though, is just a big old mishmash hodgepodge. You know what I mean? There's only about, they're far and away the two best teams. And it's not even close. But, like I said, everything else is kind of a big mishmash. Like I said, I previewed who I think might make the playoffs last episode. So, like I said, just for at least from now, for now, you can go back and listen to last week's episode, where I give my little 2 cents on it. But like I said, other than that, it's just tough. It's hard to find out who's coming out of the NFC North. Is it gonna be? It's a 3-man race between the Packers, the Saints. Saving that for later. The Packers, the Vikings, and the Lions. Who knows who's gonna be from those three? Maybe it could even be the Bears too. Who knows? They came up just short. Against the Patriots, But like I said, it's close there. Who knows who's going to come out of there? Who knows who's coming out of the NFC East? All those teams just completely suck. Like, seriously, if there's a year where they should not allow, they should go best record or something or whatever, it should be this year because, like I said, whoever comes out of the NFC East is not going very far. They had that travesty that was the Cowboys-Redskins game. Like I said, the Eagles are it's taking them longer than it should to get there to find their wings and spread their wings. But like I said, it's a big old mishmash. And the same thing kind of it's the same but a little different with the NFC South. They in the way that the NFC East is just a collection of really bad teams, the NFC South is a collection of pretty damn good teams. It could be the Saints look like the surefire favorites, but other than that, that last one, it's close between the Panthers and the Falcons. The Falcons, like I said, they're almost there. They're right there, but they just, having a little trouble figuring it out. And the Panthers, for some reason, should be the one to seal the deal, but they just, for whatever reason, can't. They can't quite capture it and secure that spot. But, like I said, NFC South, those can be a little competitive. NFC West, obviously the Rams. Then the AFC, again, the AFC North probably going to be the Patriots, just the way that they've been playing. And considering the fact that the Jets stink, the Dolphins stink, and so do the Bills. AFC West is the Chiefs have that in hand. Then the AFC South, who knows who's going to win there? It's just a rotating door of who's hot this week. So like I said, who knows what's going to happen there? And the same thing, AFC East. Jesus, not the AFC East, the AFC North. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen there? I know I certainly don't. Could be the Steelers. It all depends on what, who knows if they're going to keep Le'Veon Bell. There's rumors that he might not be coming back now. Who knows what's going on there? That's a big cluster, what. But yeah, like I said, they seem like the favorite, just considering that the Bengals haven't been able to, they had a chance, and every chance that they've gotten, they didn't really fully take it. The Browns looked like they had a chance at the beginning of the year to be the ultimate sleeper underdog of all time. But like I said, they fell a little short themselves as well. And the Ravens, like I said, maybe the Ravens, I don't know. Like I said, it's just a lot of question marks all over the place. But the biggest question mark of them all, teased it earlier, is what the fuck are the Raiders doing? I'm not always right. I talk a lot of shit. I make a lot of bold predictions. A lot of them I really believe in. A lot of them, I'm just, making a joke and trying to make make a point or whatever. But I make a lot of predictions. I've made a lot of predictions on this podcast, in real, outside of the podcast, growing up, that stuff. I just make a lot of predictions, stuff like that. And not a lot of them are right. Just like anybody else, not a lot of them are right. People, everyone thinks they know everything about sports. And if that was the case, whatever, this and that. But why does the one time I have to be literally 100% right about how about a sports take or a sports prediction that I had? Why is the only time I completely nail the prediction is when my favorite damn football team is having the season from hell? Why? Why is it the one time that happens? It's got to be a situation like this. For those of you who aren't aware, I called it last week. That even though the Raiders were on the bye week this past weekend, that they somehow might find a way to lose, and it looks like that's happening. They, as everyone knows, they already traded Khalil Mack before the season started, and that was a huge head scratcher. Everyone's like, "What's going on here?" But then he's like, "Whatever." We moved on. They haven't played that well this year so far. They're only 1-4 at this point. Then yesterday, they decided to trade their best receiver, Amari Cooper, to the Dallas Cowboys. Now I know he hasn't been playing that well this season. I know he hasn't been playing, he didn't play that well last season either. But listen, last season the team wasn't that great. Derek Carr was hurt. He was trying to get back into shape, literally trying to get back on his feet after breaking his leg in the postseason 2 years ago, or then 2 seasons ago. As a result, the team suffered. You know what I mean? And this year, like I said, he hasn't been playing as well as he could have. But listen, the entire team isn't playing that well. You know what I mean? This team sucks right now, and they just traded away their top receiver. When again they traded away their best defensive player, and they traded away arguably one of their best offensive players. And Gruden has been throwing his quarterback under the bus, for the better part of the season. I know they got a first rounder out of him. They finessed the Cowboys for a first rounder somehow, when at best you could have gotten a second rounder for him. And any other situation, that'd be great. You're like, listen, man, they got a first rounder for Khalil Mack. They got a first rounder for Amari Cooper. They're just trying to stack these picks. Any other situation, that'd be great. That's what you would want. But we're talking about the Raiders here. And we're talking about John Gruden's Raiders, who has shown to not make some of the best moves so far. It hasn't been, that great or that reliable or anything. He knowing him, he's gonna fuck this up somehow. He's gonna use those picks and trade for a player past his prime, or a player that everyone just scratches their head. I have no idea who, and I really don't want to know. Unless, like I said, they better fucking nail this shit. And like I said, any other time, you'd be more confident in having more first-round picks. Except the Raiders, who have a, let's just call it, not-so-stellar reputation in drafting making first-round picks. Yes, they got Khalil Mack in the first round. Yes, they got Amari Cooper in the first round. You didn't have to be a genius to take a top 5 pick. You don't have to be a fucking genius. It's just like fantasy sports. Anybody can pick Kyrie. Anybody can pick Steph. Anybody can pick KD. You know what I mean? Anybody can pick the top guys. It's what you do later on that counts. And the Raiders do not have a stellar, like I said, they don't have the best reputation of that. If you go back and look at their past draft picks up until I guess like 2012 or 2011, most of the guys that they've picked are either not on the team or they are non-contributors to this team. It is not good. I looked it up last night. Like I said, I'm driving. I had the notes. I don't want to pull it up right now. It's a little unsafe. But like I said, just go back and look. It's been a flurry of missed secondary guys, a couple missed offensive linemen. And like I said, they notoriously do not draft that well. And then the players that they do draft and do a little bit of damage with, they trade. Like I said, Khalil Mack they traded, Amari Cooper they traded, Jihad Ward they've traded, Mario Edwards they've traded. They got Derek Carr in the second round. He might get traded. I don't know if now, but I don't know if it'll be this season. But might as well. We already know that they're tanking. That's the other point I'm getting to. We already know that they're tanking, so might as well just do it and get it over with. And on top of that, to compound the tanking, they placed Marshawn Lynch on injured reserve. He's been dealing with a little bit of a groin issue, but he's been put on injured reserve, and that sucks for me as a big Marshawn fan. It sucks for me as a Raider fan. It sucks for me fantasy also because I have him on both my fucking fantasy teams. So like I said, I gotta really hit the waiver wire. But this fucking sucks, man. And sure, tanking. Trust the process. I get all that, but it's just so depressing and so deflating as a Raider fan right now because we took so many steps forward. The Raiders did. They took so many steps forward in the last few seasons to be relevant again. We weren't asking for them to be good. That's always great. The playoff run they had where they were potential AFC champion favorites and all that. That's great. And they're taking a lot of steps. They took a lot of big steps forward. They had a nice little collection of talent. They had a good core going. Derek Carr and Amari Cooper. Like I said, they were roommates, for a long time in training camp and all that stuff. Khalil Mack was one of the best, most likely one of the most dynamic players on the team, one of the most dynamic players in all of football. They had a good little core with that three to build around. And like I said, they were making progress, and that's the thing, is they're making progress. They're getting better. And you could see it. You could see the potential that they had, and you could see them being, contenders in the AFC for years to come. And for them to just throw it all away, for John Gruden to come in and just throw it all away, it just fucking sucks, man. It fucking sucks. Because for the last 15 years at least, we had to deal with literal shit being a Raider fan. You had to deal with literal shit. Last in the AFC West, how many seasons in a row, how many failed draft picks, how many missed picks, the Jamarcus Russell thing, how many times they didn't even make the playoffs, how many times they weren't even close to making the playoffs, how many times they had to deal with just horrible season after horrible season, embarrassing season after embarrassing season. But like I said, for almost 15 years, man, we had to deal with that shit. And for once, it looked like we had a chance to be pretty good and to at least be at least be taken serious. That's what we had. We had a chance to be at least taken serious. And for him to throw that shit all away, it just fucking sucks. And maybe he has a plan. I don't know. But the thing is, John Gruden isn't giving us any signs of hope. And that's all we want at this point is, where are we going? What's the plan? What's the sense of direction? We don't have any of that right now. And for those of you who don't know, John Gruden isn't just the head coach. He's also the offensive play caller. I don't even know if he has the full title of offensive coordinator, but he is the offensive play caller. And he's also I don't know if he's the full-on GM, because I think Reggie McKenzie still has it, but he also has a huge hand in player personnel and player personnel decisions. So that's why these trades are happening and stuff like that. And it's almost like, why even have Reggie McKenzie around? Because we all know this is what John Gruden wants and stuff like that. And as much as I like Reggie McKenzie, I know he's a Raider legend. He's a big part of why the Raiders are at where they're at also at this point as well. But he's a part of why they don't draft well. He had the ultimate say beforehand. And like I said, it doesn't take a genius to take Khalil Mack. It doesn't take a genius to pick Amari Cooper. But, like I said, he did play a big role in a lot of these missed picks. Like I said, and he also has played a part in a lot of the later round finds. We know that as well. But like I said, it's such a depressing time to be a Raider fan right now, especially since they're moving from Oakland to Vegas. We all know this is just a big PR I called it from the very beginning. This is a big PR fucking stunt to go to Vegas and all that shit. And like I said, it just fucking sucks right now, man. It's so deflating. It's so depressing. And, it'd be nice if John Gruden would come out and just give... You're supposed to be the fucking leader of this team. You're supposed to be the leader. That's what they're paying you all this money to be. And it's one thing if you're gonna, be a bad coach, and which he has been. They've been figuring him out on the field, and on the field it hasn't been great. Off the field is even worse. And it's one thing if you're gonna be one, but don't be fucking both. It's what Ron Swanson said. Don't half-ass two things, whole-ass one thing. And he isn't even if he was able to whole-ass one thing, I don't even think he'd get the job done. Now, like I said, the only thing that I'm hanging on to is that this is all part of this master plan, and he would, like I said, anytime a new coach comes in, they're going to want to do things their way, which I get. Sure, this is part of it. I'm sure this is all part of his plan. But at least have some kind of, give the fans, give anybody, anything, a sense of direction, a sense of anything, because as fans, we don't know what the fuck is going on. We don't like what the fuck is going on. You know what I mean? And he's giving such bullshit answers in all of his press conferences. He's giving such bullshit comments, such bullshit everything. It's just, there's no sense of confidence in anything that he's doing. But like I said, if he comes out and says, hey, I know, and the thing that he said, the only thing that he said is that we want to play old school football. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, that is, seriously? Like, that is not where, football's headed right now. You know what I mean? That's not where football is headed. It's you got to have a dynamic offense. They do not have that. They don't have that at all. And like I said, they just traded away one of the only pieces that can help them have a dynamic offense. So like I said, I'm gonna try to end this rant here now before I make myself even more upset and more sad. But like I said, this fucking sucks, man. This isn't fun times if you're a Raider fan, if you're a fan of the silver and black. So, like I said, we just gotta try to keep the faith, keep our heads up. Hopefully, guys stay healthy. Maybe this is an opportunity for other guys to shine. I don't know. Listen to what the fuck. I don't even believe what I'm saying. I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying. I don't even believe what I'm saying. it's going to be a long season. It's going to be a long rest of the season. This is going to suck. And I just hope we come out on this end. We come out, sooner rather than later, we come out, with some kind of winning formula. I hope John Gruden has some kind of winning formula. He shuts all of us up, proves all of us wrong. That's all we can hope for at this point. But like I said, I'm going to try to end this rant here. Like I said, try to end on a good note with the Dodgers again. I'm bringing them back, baby. Got to bring it all back. So, like I said, before I get out of here, just please, guys and girls out there, get behind the Dodgers. We make sure that they feel the love all the way in Boston from here in LA or wherever you're listening to this from if you're a Dodger fan. Make sure that you give them love. Let the boys in blue feel it. And, like I said, also, again, I hate to end on a depressing note because this really sucks, but, some sad news from the world of wrestling, last little thing. I haven't been watching a lot of wrestling lately because it's not been good lately. I can't front. But it just got even worse. This is even worse. And on a serious note, big prayers out to Roman Reigns and his family and to himself. He came out on Raw last night and announced that the leukemia that he had battled before is back. He didn't say what capacity or anything like that, but he doesn't really necessarily have to, or nor should he, or anything like that. But he's going to take some time off to deal with it. Obviously, he's probably going to get treatment, whatever he needs to do to deal with the leukemia. It's a very scary, very serious situation. Like I said, we wish him nothing but the best of luck. He said he wants to kick cancer's ass and be back in the ring. And like I said, we hope that that's the case. And I know I've been very critical of Roman Reigns on this podcast, so I know if you're listening to this and you're saying, what kind of a hypocrite, blah, blah, blah. Listen, as a Smarky fan, of course, Roman Reigns is public enemy number one. You want to boo, you boo him and you get mad at him and you yell at him in the comments on the YouTube channel, Squared Circle Reddit, all that shit, But that's just booing Roman Reigns the character. You know what I mean? It's obviously there is a real human behind the character. That's Joseph Anawai. And, this is a situation where, that's not, obviously no one here is booing, Roman Reigns, this and that. And like I said, it's all in fun for the sake of wrestling. At the end of the day, wrestling is just an entertainment product. It's all fun. Like I said, it's all fun and games, We're booing him, it's part of the joke and part of the fun and all part of the whole shtick and all that stuff, right? You're booing Roman Reigns. No one is booing the real human Joe Anawai behind it. And we're all rooting for him. And like I said, hopefully he can beat this and get back out there so we can boo him some more. You know what I mean? That's the best thing. That like I said, I just hope that he comes back and I hope he beats this because it's a real scary disease and a real scary thing, especially when it comes back, especially when he beat it once. But like I said, he beat it once, he can do it again. So, like I said, thoughts and prayers and a lot of good vibes going your way, Roman Reigns. But yeah, that's going to do it for me today. I got to wrap this thing up and really focus on the road now. It's getting to be bumper to bumper again and stuff like that. So thank you guys for listening. Again, I apologize if the audio quality isn't that great or if it's a little, you hear a little, little fuzzies, a little, clicking, you hear some horns or sirens or whatever the heck, other stuff you hear in LA traffic. But again, I appreciate you guys for listening anyway. And if you like what you heard, like always, subscribe, like, share, comment, all that bullshit. Follow along. Subscribe everywhere you listen to podcasts. SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify. Very big on Spotify. Like I said, I'm not very big, but I'm very big on the fact that I'm on Spotify now. So follow along there. And then like Stitcher, TuneIn. I'm trying to get on Art19. I'm trying to get on other shit like that. So like I said, look for it there as well. Also, follow along on all the socials as well. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, all that good shit. Brown Mamba Radio, Brown Mamba, JXCK. My personal stuff, JXCKSXNNN. That's 3 N's. And like always, everything is available on the blog, on the site. Shout out to the blog boys and the blog girls out there on the site at brownmamba.us. So, again, thank you guys and girls for listening. I really, really, really appreciate it, especially on an episode like this. Hopefully I don't have to do too many more of these. But like I said, I gotta do them. I love doing these things, and like I said, I'll do what I can to get it done. Even if it's bringing all my equipment in my car, having it in my riding shotgun, and me holding my microphone so it doesn't shake around too much anywhere. And but like I really appreciate you guys listening. Go Dodgers! Go Dodgers! I'm picking Dodgers in 6. I prefer it being 5 so that way they can get it done at home. But like I said, but you know, hey, it is what it is. For me, Dodgers in 5 or 6. Let's bring it home, boys. Let's bring 88 back. Bring the championship back to LA, and start the chain. Let's start the chain. World Series for the Dodgers, Super Bowl championship for the Rams, and a Larry O'Brien for the Lakers. It is not outside the realm of possibility. What a fucking time to be an LA sports fan. God damn, that's crazy. I can't believe it, but and that's what's crazy. What's even crazier is that saying that isn't crazy, if that makes sense. And like I said, but we got to start with one. Got to start with the first one. So let's bring that shit home, Dodgers. And I will check back with you guys later on this week. Thank you again for listening, like always. And again, like always, don't just have a good week, make it a good week. And drink more water. Health is wealth. Please be kind to each other. It's easy to be nice. Make sure you guys also get out there and vote. Rock that fucking vote. Get out there and vote. As soon as you can and whenever you can, get out there and vote. It is very, very important. And I will check back in with you guys later this week. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.